It was a good day for us. We executed, and I can't be more pleased than I am right this minute.
You'd feel pretty good, too, if your team dominated a team like the Bengals on their home turf. The 49ers came to Riverfront but didn't leave their heart in San Francisco. They played well, especially on defense. Opening series, San Francisco intercepted a Ken Anderson pass, and 15 plays later, the 49ers converted the turnover. Bill Ring rung the Bengals' bell on this 4-yard touchdown pass, 7-0.
I think it always helps to get ahead. It gives an advantage to the defense that doesn't exist when you're behind or when the score is even.
The drive consumed 7 minutes and 59 seconds. It was obvious the 49ers' game plan was ball control.
Well, it had to be, because we just don't have the weapons to strike deep like Cincinnati might have.
I think they analyzed one of the earlier games this year, which was with the Cleveland Browns, where they threw them little dump passes and got 5 or 6 yards, and they kept cracking, and then they'll run a little up the middle play, and then they'll throw a little pass, and then I think that just kept us off balance a little bit.
It was 7-3 in the second period when the 49ers put 6 on the board. What really hurt was that San Francisco scored with just 2 seconds left. Montana to Dwight Clark.
They're in field goal range. You know, you could give them a field goal. That would have put us down by 7, but then, of course, they got the touchdown, and that put us down by 11.
14-3 at halftime as the 49ers defense was tighter than a traffic jam on the Golden Gate Bridge. And there were more penalty flags thrown in the first half than footballs. 13 penalties in all in the first half, 8 against the Bengals.
Officials were just grading this game a little harder than others, and I know it was something like 10-3, 2 10-3 teams, and all the aggression and stuff that could be in a ball game, they wanted to control it, so that's probably what they did.
The penalties and the number of timeouts for TV commercials seemed to ruin the Bengals' momentum.
All the timeouts that they had on the field has a tendency to wear on an athlete. So we like to be warm, we like to feel fluid. And when it's cold out and you always got timeouts after every time you get on the field, it's hard to build up any momentum and get our crowd going.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's really curious to see that whenever we play an NFC team, CBS always calls the timeouts when we build up our momentum. And it's something that's a little bit frustrating, but something you have to live with.
Perhaps the penalties and timeouts hurt the Bengals, but take nothing away from San Francisco.
All week I watched them on film, and you could tell their defensive line was strong and quick, and I mean, those defensive backs, you got to watch how they knock your head off.
And I think possibly our knowledge of Kenny Anderson and some of the guys in the ballgame helped us a little bit from that standpoint.
We didn't execute. We didn't make the big plays that had to be made on 3rd and 10. And when that happens and they're scoring points, you're going to lose.
When you start jumping off sides and getting stupid penalties, that's an indication that you didn't prepare yourself mentally for the ball game.
Why not, Coach? Why this week it seemed...
If I had that answer, Bob, I wouldn't be standing here right now bitching about losing.
The 49ers blitzed effectively, and early in the third period, Ken Anderson left the game with a sprained big toe. No fracture. Kenny should be ready for Pittsburgh on Sunday. But Anderson's exit gave the 49ers even more momentum. In the fourth period, Dan Ross coughs up the football, and again the 49ers turn the turnover into points. Montana on this 1-yard keeper, 23 with 6:28 left in the game.
Is San Francisco a Super Bowl team?
Well, I was just telling some of the guys that I knew on the team, I said, well, we will see you in the Super Bowl.
But if the Bengals do get to the Super Bowl, they will have to play a lot more super than they did today. The final 21-3. And oh, how ex-Bengals assistant coach Bill Walsh must have loved it.
I'm glad I'm able to remind my former employers that I was a very competent coach, and that they did produce a good man when they produced me.
And the 49ers produced an end to the Bengals' 5-game win streak. Maybe a blessing in disguise, though.
I hate to lose. I hate how I feel today, and I don't want it to happen again. And now it's the best time for it to happen because, we have 2 games to... we're still in the driver's seat. We have 2 games to go this season, and we have playoffs. Any other loss the rest of the season is going to hurt us. This loss today should be an encouragement, should be a strengthening factor for us.
Pittsburgh must be licking its chops. If the Steelers beat the Raiders tomorrow night, the Steelers will trail the Bengals by just a game. Fireworks next week at 3 Rivers. Can you imagine?
Must have been extremely disappointing, your last home game at Riverfront, to go out this way.
It was extremely disappointing to come out of this game on the losing end, and that gives us more incentive to come back, and the only way we'll come back this year is if we're in the playoffs.
And Riverfront will be jumping once again. Bob Hillman, Channel 9 Sports.